Hello, it's Kirsten, welcome back, and we are doing a book haul video, and today's book haul is 20 books. That's mad. Honestly, it's just crazy, although to be fair, I think 5 of these books were bought in June and the rest were actually at the end of May since I did my last book haul video. So we've done a little bit crazy here. I'm also splitting this into kind of like 2 parts because 12 of these books are classics. So I'm going to do those second. So I'm going to do all the other like fantasy books and things like that first because I know not everyone is into classic books. So we'll do that second. And we're also kind of splitting them again into second-hand books and also books that are brand new. That's how this video is going to go. Hopefully it works out nicely, and I think that's enough of the ramble. Like, we know what a book haul is, so I'm just going to show you the books that I've got. Starting off with a fantasy book that I did pick up secondhand on eBay, and that is Damn Fair by Barb and JC Hendy. Now this is a book that I read absolutely ages and ages ago, and I remember a vague plotline for it, and if you've seen my May book haul then you would have seen me pick up the rest of these books in Forbidden Planet because they had a sale going on, but they didn't have this first one. But this first one I managed to pick up on eBay, so I'm not complaining. And this is basically a rather old series, I want to say, or at least it's not one that's in print anymore, and it's all about our main character who is half vampire, half human, and her elf best friend, and they go around from village to village swindling them out of money by pretending to kill vampires until of course a real vampire comes along. Now I don't remember too much about this. I just remember it having quite a dark atmosphere and it having a historical setting, and I saw them for sale in Forbidden Planet, the rest of them that I got in May, and I really wanted to carry on with this because I read the first book and I think I read a bit of the second book, but I never actually carried on. So I'm like, you know what, actually I do want to give this a try and just see if I like it, especially because I managed to get most of the books for like 99p, so I'm like, why not? And I've been thinking about this one for a few months now, so yeah, I'm kind of intrigued to get back into this and see if it's as good as I remember. And then at a little book market that is along South Bank in London, I managed to find Sailor Moon Volume 3 in English. So if any of you have been watching any of my other videos, you'd know that I managed to get hold of this book, but it was in French, and then I managed to find the 4th book and that was in German and not English because I was buying them online, and I was so frustrated because I was like, I just want to carry on because I've read the 1st and 2nd volumes but haven't been able to carry on. Finally found it. They're getting really hard to find. I can't even find the 4th one anywhere. I'm just gonna have to hope it pops up somewhere, but I really loved Sailor Moon growing up. It was one of my favourite things to watch. I've been wanting to read the manga of it for such a long time, so I started to, and then of course we started having problems getting hold of the books, of course. So yeah, so I'm really pleased that we've got this one so I can actually carry on with the story, because where it left off in number 2, I'm like, I know what happens from the anime, but I really want to know what happens, you know? If that makes any sense. I don't know, I'm saying that a lot, but anyway, very pleased I picked up this one. And then I got 2 books through Instagram because one of the girls on there was selling a few of her books, so I thought, why not pick some up? I got The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, and this is the book I've seen a lot of people talk about how much they really like it. Again, it's a really hyped up book, plus the cover is stunning, and it's all about this girl called January that discovers doors to different like worlds, I think, that she can go to. So it's like a portal fantasy, so it kind of reminds me a bit like Sean Maguire's Wayward Children, or even like The Starless Sea, just kind of that kind of fantasy element to it. So I am hoping it's going to be a good read. I think the writing is going to be beautiful, but I'm also a bit concerned because it is so hyped, or it was for a little while, but then I haven't heard many people talk about it, so we'll see. We'll see. But it was like a couple pounds, so I'm quite happy to pick this up and give this a try. And then from the same person, I also got Waken Hers by Michelle Paver. Now this is not a book I've ever seen before. I saw her selling it and I was really intrigued, so I looked up the synopsis and I was like, that sounds like something I could read. Let me read it to you because I actually don't remember what it's about. Something has been let loose. In Edwardian Suffolk, a manor house stands alone in a lost corner of the fens, a glinting wilderness of water whose whispering reeds guard ancient secrets. Maud is a lonely child growing up without a mother, ruled by her repressive father. When he finds a painted medieval devil in a graveyard, unhallowed forces are awakened. Maud's battle has begun. She must survive a world haunted by witchcraft, the age-old legends of her beloved fen, and even more nightmarish demons of her father's past. Spanning 5 centuries, Waken Hers is a darkly gothic thriller about murderous obsession and one girl's longing to fly free. That's why I wanted it. It said gothic horror. That will do. Honestly, I have not seen anyone talk about this book, so if you've read it, do let me know what you thought of it. I think the synopsis is really, really intriguing, and yeah, gothic horror. I'm good for that. So those are the books that I got second hand out of this like random genre. It's like a mixture of like fantasy, manga, historical fiction. I don't know what's going on. But I did get 4 books that were full price, but I was using the last of my birthday book vouchers at the end of May to get these. So I got The Other Boleyn Girl by Philippa Gregory. Now this is a book that a few people have actually said that they really like. So we have Kris over at Kris Reviews, who I will have linked below. She is a lovely, lovely person and her ferrets are adorable. But she was talking about this book as one of her favourites, and so I was like instantly intrigued. And then we also have Tani Perry over at Instagram at Perfectly Prosed, and she also really liked this book, so I was like, that's 2 people whose recommendations I trust. I'm gonna give this a try. I have actually watched the film, so this is following Henry VIII's wife, Anne Boleyn, and it's kind of the story about it all. So I loved the film. I thought it was really intriguing, and I'm really into like that historical setting at the moment, so I thought, why not give this a try? And Kris says that Philippa Gregory is like one of her favourite authors. She was doing this video of the most books she's read by authors, which she tagged me in, and I still need to do that video. But this author came up and she'd read so many of her books, and she said that The Other Boleyn Girl was her favourite, so I'm definitely keen to check this one out. Then we have The House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. I got this because it was on the buy one get one half price at Waterstones, and I've seen so many people talk about this on Instagram saying how they really liked the gothic element to it and everything. Again, I've got no idea what this one is about, so let me just read the synopsis. Dark, dangerous things are happening around the Hollow sisters. Ever since they disappeared as children, only to reappear a month later with no memory of what happened to them, odd, eerie occurrences follow in their wake. When Grey, the eldest, goes missing again, Iris and Vivi are left to figure out the mystery, but they aren't the only ones looking for her. As they brush against the supernatural, Iris realises that the world they returned from 10 years ago might be calling them back, but just how much horror lies beneath the surface? I've got no idea, honestly. I've just heard a lot of people say that it was a really dark, creepy read, and I thought, why not give this one a try? And then the other book I got as part of that buy one get one half price is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alares Sanchez. I'm sorry if I've pronounced that incorrectly, but this one is a cutesy middle grade book, and I've heard so many people really like it, especially if you like House in the Cerulean Sea, which I did, so this is one that I'm intrigued. Plus it's got Dante and Aristotle, although I haven't read any of Aristotle's works, and Dante's poem I actually have on this shelf here, so I actually do need to read that as well. So I'm excited to give this one a try. I don't know what to expect, but I'm just hoping it's going to be a cutesy feel-good read. Let me know if you've read this one and whether that is what it is or what to expect, because I have no idea. And the last one I got in this category is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Now I've been really interested in getting Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, but that is a huge book, and I was a little bit daunted by it. I'm not gonna lie, it is massive, and I thought, you know what, why don't I start off with her smaller book and see if I like her writing stuff, and if I do, then I'll feel a lot more confident going into Jonathan Strange and Dr. Norrell. So we'll see. This one I've heard nothing but good things, and I've been wanting to get it for a little while, so I thought, you know what, I've got these vouchers, let me just buy it. It's all about this man, I think called Piranesi, who's in this house that is a bit unusual. Honestly, I'm just thinking it's going to be a bit like The Starless Sea in terms of it's just beautiful lyrical writing that's a little bit unusual, but that's what I'm hoping for. Plus I really love this edition. It's stunning, and the naked hardcover is just gorgeous. I think it's beautiful, and we do have gorgeous end papers as well. So yeah, I'm really excited, not just about how it looks but also for the story. And like I said, if I like this, I will pick up her other book. Do let me know if you've read this one or Jonathan Strange and Dr. Norrell, just to see which one do you prefer if you've read both, and am I right to start off with her smaller works? I'm not sure, but I am excited. Okay, so that's it for all of those sort of books, and now we're going to be moving into classics, which, as I said, I have 12 of them. I have been on a classics binge lately in terms of buying them and reading them and just really enjoying it. I think I've just needed a break from fantasy at the moment. Don't get me wrong, you have those occasional fantasy books which are so beautiful and so different, like The Starless Sea, which I read recently, which is why I'm talking about it so much, but at the same time I'm just finding that YA fantasy and some adult fantasy is just getting a bit repetitive in terms of its themes and the plot line and the tropes and everything, so I'm just needing a break. And I'm also finding that standalones are where I'm interested in more than a series. So classics are just fitting that bill for me with its beautiful writing and just... Anyway, that's a ramble. Let's just talk about the books that I got. Okay, so on that same market on South Bank where I got Sailor Moon Volume 3, I also picked up Macbeth by William Shakespeare. The reason why I wanted to pick this one up is because I read Foul is Fair by Hannah Capin, loved it, and that was a Lady Macbeth retelling, so I definitely wanted to reread the actual play. I read this for like my GCSEs in English, but I don't remember too much about it, so I do want to reread it and just see where that influence came from and see whether it links up nicely. It's just something I'm really enjoying doing because retellings are one of my favourite subgenres. I absolutely love them, and I'm now making it a point that every retelling I read, I have to read the original where it came from. If I remember it, it's no problem, I don't need to reread it, but I can't remember this. So I saw it on the bookstore and I was like, you know what, I need to get this, I need to reread it, and I love seeing how an author has taken things that were done and reworked it into her work, and I loved Foul is Fair so much, so I'm really intrigued to pick this one up. Then we have Jane Austen's Persuasion, which again I got from the same bookstore. I'm wanting to read more Jane Austen works, and I'm actually taking part in Jane Austen July, which they are reading Persuasion as one of the group books across the month, so I had to get myself a copy anyway, and again, second hand, can't complain about saving a bit of money on that. Very happy with it. I don't know what this one is about too much. I think it's more about this woman that originally said no to a man that proposed to her because her friend convinced her that she could do better, but she's kind of regretted it ever since, and now he's kind of coming back into her life. So I'm intrigued to see where the storyline goes. I really enjoyed Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I really like her writing, so I'm excited to carry on with something different. And then in a charity shop, I also picked up Charles Dickens' Christmas books, including A Christmas Carol. Now, we're in the middle of summer, Christmas is nowhere near, but I have decided that I do want to read A Christmas Carol at Christmas time because I've never read it at all, and I've seen quite a few different adaptations. Obviously, they're always on over Christmas, so I was like, you know, I need to correct that and actually read the book. That's what I got. It was in a charity shop for like £2, so I cannot complain at all. And then moving on to the books that I have bought full price, again mainly with book vouchers, not actually with my money, but we have The Magic Toy Shop by Angela Carter. This is one that just captured my attention. I loved the cover and I also liked the idea of this magic toy shop. So one night, Malene wanders in the garden wearing her mother's wedding dress. The next day she learns that her parents are dead. She is sent to live with her relatives, gentle Aunt Margaret and her brothers Francis and Finn. Brooding over all is Uncle Philip, a toy maker who loves only the toys he creates. I've got no idea what to expect from this at all, but I was just intrigued by it and I love the cover, so I thought, why not? Also have The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. This is a book that I saw on Instagram and someone was talking about how much they really liked it, and when I was getting it, the bookseller that I know in my local Waterstones was telling me how his wife read it and absolutely loved it, and says that it's a book that a lot of people should read and that don't realise that it has such an influence on other things. It is a tiny little book, but again, I was really intrigued. Based on the author's own experiences, The Yellow Wallpaper is a chilling tale of a woman driven to the brink of insanity by the rest cure prescribed after the birth of her child. While she is isolated in a crumbling mansion in a room with bars on the windows, the torturous pattern of the yellow wallpaper winds its way through the recesses of her mind. It seems like it's going to be a really psychological thriller in a way, so I'm really intrigued to see how that goes. And then we have The Sign of the Four by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I recently read A Study in Scarlet, which is the first book in the order to read these in, so I definitely wanted to pick up the second one, and this is all about Sherlock Holmes and his various mysteries with Dr. Watson along the way. Again, another short one. I haven't read this one. The only one that I read apart from Study in Scarlet is The Hand of the Baskervilles, and that was ages and ages ago. So yeah, intrigued to carry on with the mysteries. Then we have The Death of Ivan Ilyich. Again, I might pronounce that wrong, sorry. And that's by Leo Tolstoy. This I found in a little independent bookshop, and one, I love these little black classics. I've talked about them a lot and I just think they're an amazing way to try classics, especially like different authors. If you're not sure if you're going to like their writing style and don't want to invest in one of their bigger books, they're like £1, sometimes £2, and you can have a nice little taste of what that author's writing style is like. So I'm very happy that I saw this one. It's a short story by Leo Tolstoy. I'm currently reading Anna Karenina at the moment, really enjoying it, so I wanted to definitely try one of his shorter stories as well, because I think he's just got this such a beautiful way of portraying life. I just think it's so unique. So yeah, was very pleased when I saw this. Then I also got The Monk by Matthew Lewis, and I picked this one up because I was doing some research into horror classics, because horror classics is something that I absolutely love. It was my first love of classics, and where I started getting interested in them through Dracula, Frankenstein, Dorian Gray, all of those, and The Monk is one of the ones that came up on that list, so I was like, I definitely want to give this a try. And it's all about a monk that does very shady things, from what I can tell. Again, haven't read this one. I'm excited to try it because it came up as something to read if you want horror classics, so gonna give this one a try. Again, any of these if you've read, do let me know your thoughts below. Then we have The Professor by Charlotte Bronte, and I'm so excited about this cover. I found this in Hatchards up in London and I fell in love with it. I haven't been able to find this cover anywhere else, so I was like, I have to get this. It is stunning. So yeah, I was very happy that I managed to find this. The Professor is Charlotte Bronte's first book, I believe, but it didn't get published first, so she actually rewrote it as Villette, which is a book that I do want to get, but I want to read them in order. So I want to read The Professor first because it's from the point of view of the professor that falls in love with one of his students, and then Villette, which is from the girl's perspective. So I want to read this one first, then Villette, and then kind of decide and do a comparison between the two about which one I prefer. So yeah, super excited, and as I said, this edition, stunning. And then to go with my Jane Austen July that I'm taking part in, I also picked up this little compendium of short stories. We have Lady Susan, The Watsons and Sandation. So I'm excited to try this. I am kind of gutted because in Hatchards they had this book but with this edition, and I decided, you know what, no, let me put it down. I'm probably not going to be picking this up anytime soon, it's fine. And then the Jane Austen July prompts came out and I was like, because one of the prompts was to read one of her shorter books, like not one of the 6 main novels, and yeah. So I was kind of gutted. And I could have suppose gone up there and just seen if they had this copy, but I just feel like, would I have done that? I don't know. Plus, you know what? These copies aren't bad at all and it wasn't expensive, so I can't even complain. But you know when you're just like, oh, I wish I got the other copy? Book regret. Do you ever get book regret? I have book regret. Anyway, this is a collection of short stories. I'm hoping to read Lady Susan for the Jane Austen July thing. You're hearing about a lot of this already. I am going to be doing a separate video on it, but never mind. But yeah, again, I haven't read any of these and I think Sandation is her unfinished work, I think. And then in keeping with Jane Austen July, they are also reading Mansfield Park as part of their read along as well. So they're having 2 books that they're reading along, Persuasion and Mansfield Park. So of course I had to pick up Mansfield Park as well, and I decided to go for the English Library edition because it's stunning. I love these. Honestly, if I had a choice and you've got the Penguin Black Spine editions or these, I prefer these because I think they're so beautiful, colourful, which is what I prefer, but they don't have these in every classic book. Not yet anyway, hopefully one day, we'll see. But yeah, I really am excited to give this one a try. Apparently it's one of the host's favourite, which I'll have her channel linked below if you're interested in the Jane Austen July. I found it through Books and Things, so I'll have her linked below, but she said it was one of her favourite books, so I'm definitely excited to give this one a try as well. Okay, we're down to the last classic book, and that is The Great Godpan by Arthur Machen. Again, I went for the Penguin English Library edition because stunning and beautiful, and this is a book I picked up because I am currently in the middle of reading The Sinister Mystery of the Mesmerising Girl by Theodore Gross, and they mentioned it, and then literally I was reading that, saw the mention of it, the next day was in Waterstones to get the Jane Austen books and found this, and I'm like, I did not realise this was a book. I'm like, I am so intrigued. I've got no idea what it's about. Let me read the back because I've got no idea. I just saw it and I was like, wait, that's been mentioned in my book. I'm getting it. So, a pioneering writer of horror fiction and fantasy, Arthur Machen's mystic tales of the weird and the occult explored ancient evils lying below the surface of everyday life. Included here is his most famous work, The Great Godpan, hailed by Stephen King as one of the best horror stories ever written, as well as 3 other tales of strange drugs, ritual murder, and a young girl initiated into the old ways of pagan magic. That sounds rather good, I'm not gonna lie. I am so intrigued. I now want to pick this up straight away. I don't know what to do. But there we have it. That is the 20 books that I got in quite a short space of time, I'm not gonna lie. We are going to try and slow down on this book buying because, yeah, I think I just went a bit crazy the last couple months because I was like, oh, it's my birthday month in May, and went mad. And even after my birthday and I filmed my book haul, it didn't stop, it just carried on going. So we're gonna hope that from now, which today's date of filming this is the 10th of June, to the end of June, I'm not going to get any more books. We'll see in the next book haul whether that actually stuck or not, but we'll see. I mean, maybe if I find something good, I don't know. Anyway, do you ever do book bans? Do you think I should go on one? I feel like I should, but also shouldn't at the same time because, you know, it's bringing me joy, so why not? Anyway, that's a ramble for another day. Do let me know again if you've read any of these, if you're interested in any of them, what's a book that you've got recently that you're super excited about, all those things we know that I love to know. And if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it that thumbs up and subscribe. My social media links will be linked below, and I will catch you in the next one.